Okay. Of course you could not hear me because the mute button was on. Okay, listen. I need an engineer. I'm not playing around no more. I'm not playing. I tell them every time, I'm not going to remember to hit the button. And I never remember to hit the button. I cannot keep living my life like this. Uno momento. Okay. I think I'm live. I think y'all can hear me. Can you guys tell me if you can hear me? Please tell me something in the chat. Can y'all hear me? Can you see me? Um yes, the mute button was on, okay? I can't live my life like this. I cannot live my life like this. I need an engineer. I've been trying to get this set up for at least the last 45 minutes to an hour. And listen, I cannot. I cannot. I can refuse to do this every week. I cannot. Okay. So I apologize for that extremely long delay as it took us forever um, to figure out why my audio wasn't on. And now we know. So welcome to Tuesday Night Live, you guys. I am happy that you guys are back with me for another week. As you guys know, um, Miss Shirley say you did it. Yes, I did it. Listen, I'm so flustered right now. Like, what is happening? Okay. Um, yes. So what we're going to do is do a Q&A for tonight. Okay. So you ask me questions and I will answer. Ms. Claydays, I don't think the focus is off. So another thing, there was a cord I was supposed to go get to do the hardwire. Forgot the cord. I brought the adapter and forgot the cord. So next week, the picture will be less fuzzy. Dear God. Okay. I'm telling you, I broke my mic. So the little thing that holds the mic, I broke that trying to set up for today. So if it falls, we just going to continue on as if nothing happened. I'm letting you guys know right now. It's been a day. Goodness gracious. Um yeah, the biggest annoyance is technology. All right. So, we're going to go ahead and do our Q&A. So you guys, please put questions down in the chat to help me redirect my frustration and my attention to something else. If you guys are just now joining, the only thing I think that the only announcements that I have are the Daily Fix. So today was a phenomenal day because we had our first Daily Fix session. It was a success. It was wonderful. Tomorrow we have our guest speaker. If you want to be on to hear Sean Breed tomorrow, you can still register tonight and you'll get access to join our call in the morning. We do a 8:30 a.m. call Central Standard Time every morning with me. And Sean Breed is our guest speaker. So every Wednesday we have guests come in and speak. And Sean is our guest for tomorrow. So I'm Oh, okay. So I'm super excited about that. Um, let's see. Let's see. So yes, other than the daily fix, I don't have any other questions or concerns. Um, yeah. All right. I'm ready for questions. Let me let me bring this up here. I think it's already up. Okay, great. So I'll be able to look at questions on here and then I'm gonna do a simultaneous I don't know, y'all. This is a lot. I need an engineer. Okay. We need an engineer. All right. So give me your questions down below. How have you guys been feeling? What do you think about 2023? Are you excited? Are you frustrated? Are you apprehensive? Are you afraid? Are you optimistic? Let me know how you guys feel about the new year. Let me know what questions you have. What are you trying to accomplish in the new year? What do you want to see happen? What barriers are you struggling to overcome as we are moving into this next season that is 2023? I myself, so if you if you well, I guess I'm in Houston. Houston is huge. So I went out for New Year's and coming home, there was like this massive fog, like thick fog, like you couldn't even see the car in front of you as I'm driving. and I just happened to be way out in far from my home. Okay. So I'm having to drive home in this fog, and the fog I have never driven in fog this bad before. And so I'm driving and I'm like, God, please don't let me get in a wreck. Just let me get home. And I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? God is probably saging the earth right now. Like he's probably taking this moment to just sage all of the bad juju from 2022 so that 2023 could be phenomenal. So that's what I'm leaning on right now. I'm like, God has saged the earth. Okay. So we have a whole new slate. Even though the fog may just have been on my side of Houston, it don't matter. It was for the whole world at that point. But hopefully 2023 is off to a good start for you guys. Awesome. It was great. It is at 8:30 tomorrow. 8:30 is our regular call time. Um, I'm positively overwhelmed because I have a lot of work to do. Um, Taking it in bite-sized pieces. We all have a lot of work to do, but I think if you look at how much you have to change or how much you want to see done differently, that's where we can become overwhelmed, right? So think about it in terms of I always put my growth in increments. So in the next 3 months, where do I want to see my life? How do I want my life to be different? Where do I want to go? In just 3 months, what do I want to see different? So in March, when I look up at March 31st, what do I want to say is different in my life? What do I want to say is different about me? I think sometimes we get overwhelmed when we think about, okay, well, for 2023, I want to get out of debt. And your get out of debt number may be like really big. It may be a really big number. So if I'm in January and I say, I want to pay off, $30,000 by the end of the year. Well, $30,000 is a lot of money. But if you think about it in bite-sized pieces and you say, okay, well, in 3 months, I can pay off 5,000. So instead of looking at the 30,000 number, instead I'm going to focus on 5,000. Getting to 5 is a lot easier than coming up with that 30, right? So when we break our big goals down into bite-sized pieces, it makes it easier for us to digest the work that has to be done in order to achieve them, and they feel more realistic, and they feel like, okay, this is actually within my reach, so that I'm not discouraged or I'm not, unmotivated, because I actually feel like, okay, if I can do 5,000 now, now the whole 30, I'm gonna need all 365 days to get that 30,000, but I can do 5 in 3 months. So break down your goal, whatever that goal is, into bite-sized pieces. Since you're in the daily fix, you're going to have help with that. So stay tuned in the daily fix, because we are going to talk about how to break those goals down, what tangible growth looks like over time, so that you'll be able to gauge your progress over time without feeling like, oh, I got to tackle all these things at once. Very good. Very good. Yes, that is Breon. Poor Horseman is Breon. That is our moderator for the Daily Fix. Thank you so much. You guys in the chat, if we could just put like a screwdriver emoji, if everybody could put a screwdriver emoji to let Breon know Brittany cannot work technology. It has taken me an hour to get this live going by myself. And I don't know if I'm gonna make it every Tuesday night if I gotta keep doing this. But hey, I can't, I can't complain. You know why? Because this whole setup and format was my idea. And if I remember precisely, Brigham was probably against everything I wanted to do, but I had a vision. Okay. Amen for the people who have a vision. Amen for the people who have a vision. Let's talk about that quickly. All right. There are burdens that come with being a person of vision. There are burdens that comes with being a person of vision. I think anybody who works with me um knows that when we're having like team meetings, or when we're talking about things that we want to do, especially in the content creation space, I always say, that's not my vision. Okay. So when someone offers a solution or they want to do something and I'm like, you could be right, but that's not how I saw it. I think 2023, you guys, There's something I tell you all the time, and I tell you to trust yourself, and I tell you to trust your vision. Trust yourself and trust your vision. It becomes harder to do that the more and more and more your vision is tested. All right. And when I say tested, is not just the vision of what you want to do or what you want to be, but I'm talking about the overall vision of your life and where you see things going. That as you go through life, it's like I had a conversation today. I was like, there's times where I have so much going on that I feel like I'm looking at this mountain and I have to climb this mountain. And this mountain is huge, it's massive, and I'm already tired from 2022. So I don't know how I'm going to make it up this mountain. And anytime I think about wanting to scale back or wanting to quit or wanting to say, okay, no to this, no to that, let's get rid of everything, honestly. The only thing that keeps me motivated, that keeps me going is knowing that that's not the vision. That I could completely change paths. I could completely change course. I could completely say, you know what? I'm not even gonna do therapy no more. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna become a whole new person. But what would keep me up at night would still be the vision of what I had for my life. What keeps us motivated in these times where you feel like your motivation is being tried, your vision is being tested, you have to have a very clear sense of what is this thing that I'm trying to complete, which is called my life. This is why I stress purpose so much. This is why I stress intention so much. If I put a microphone down and never picked up another microphone, if I never got in front of another camera, I would still be responsible for living within my purpose, which is to help and build up others. The avenue may change, but I would never be able to get away from the thing that's been placed in me to do, the thing that comes natural to do, the thing that I do when I'm not trying to do it. That's where the purpose comes from. That's where the vision comes from. I encourage you guys to not be afraid of what your visions are. Understand that whatever vision you have for your life, it's going to try you, it's going to test you, it's going to be scary, it's going to be life shaking because it's supposed to. Don't run away from it because it's difficult. And as I literally utter that sentence, I'm speaking to you and to me. On this morning's call, I told you guys not to minimize the vision because of what happened in 2022. Don't minimize the vision because of what happened in 2022. So I want you to know that there are hardships that comes with being a visionary. Many people will not see what you see, not until you build it, right? Many people on my team give me a very hard time about, why I'm so strict about when I see something, it has to go a certain way. But when we get to the finished product, they're like, oh, okay, I get it now. I'm like, yes, see, you didn't see what I saw, but I trust what it is that you see. Trust that the desires that you have in your heart have been placed there from God. Trust that you have been equipped for whatever journey that you're on. And understand, one of the affirmations and mantras that I live by is that as I'm on this journey of life, as I am trying to live out in the best way that I can, the purpose that I feel I've been called to do, I'm not supposed to have it all. I'm not supposed to have it all together. I'm not supposed to have all the answers. That what I do know is that for everything I lack, God will fill in the gaps. For everything that I'm not, He will provide. For everything that I'm missing, He has the missing piece. And sometimes, you guys, those missing pieces show up in the form of knowledge. They show up in the form of insight and wisdom. Sometimes they show up in the form of people. Okay? People. You guys who are in the Daily Fix absolutely could not happen without Breon. Okay, if he's still in the chat, he's going to literally crop this out of the video and play it every time I give him a hard time. But the Daily Fix could not happen without Breon, right? What we're doing right now could not happen without him. This ain't me. This is not what I do. I don't want to do this stuff. I want to show up and talk in front of a camera. But in order for you to further your vision, understand that partnerships have to take place. You have to be open and ready and willing to accept God's provision, even when it comes from other people. When it comes from other people saying, let me help out. When it comes from other people saying, how can I serve you? You have to be open to that. And for a lot of you, it'll be hard because past relationships have kind of damaged and tarnished how you see the world and how you see yourself. Um, Said all that to say, trust your vision. Because I just saw a question. Let me go back to it. Trust your vision. Be open to God's provision, and do not think, as you guys are planning what you want for 2023, don't think that you have to have all the answers right now, because you don't. The only thing that you have to be dedicated to is seeing clearly what that vision is, and then receiving instruction. Receiving instruction. I think one of the most powerful things I realized is that every good thing, every good vision God gives you, 9 times out of 10 is going to come with instructions attached. It comes with it. Now, we may not always like the instructions. We may not always agree with the instructions. But when he gives us an order, when he gives us a commandment, when he gives us a purpose, when he gives us um, what our next step is going to be, it comes with instruction. Now, the instruction may mean that I have to get out of my own way. The instructions may mean that I have to open up and be vulnerable. The instructions may mean that I have to stretch myself in ways I don't even want to stretch myself in ways that I wasn't anticipating, grow up in ways that I didn't even know I had to grow up in so that I can walk in what it is that he's asking me to do. That's the part that makes this journey difficult. It's the constant growing into who I have to become to sustain the vision. Okay. If you guys are here with me, I want you to um, think about what is it that I need to grow into to sustain the vision that I see in my head. Sometimes it's not about, will the vision come to pass? Is this the right vision for me? Is this the right track for me? Sometimes you're questioning the vision when you need to be questioning, what do I need to become in order to sustain the vision? Right? If I have a vision of being, a director at this firm, okay, well, grow the leadership skills that puts you in that position. Grow the networking skills that puts you in that position. Grow the emotional intelligence skills that put you in that position. One of the best things that got me to where I was as a manager within the hospital was not the fact that I didn't go to school for what's the degree? I think the degree that they wanted was public health administration. I didn't go to school for that. I did not. I was a therapist. But you know what I did have? I had emotional intelligence. And in order to lead a team, I had to understand how to communicate with people from different backgrounds, how to communicate with people who didn't see the same thing that I saw, how to negotiate and bargain and get people brought into a vision that they necessarily weren't motivated to be brought into. Those are the things that made me great as a leader. And those are the things that I had to grow into and learn so that I could be effective in the areas that I wanted to be effective in my life. So stop questioning, is the vision for you? Ask yourself, who do I have to become to sustain the vision? Okay, send me y'all's questions. What questions do you guys have? What questions do y'all guys have? I'm looking at one question says, new spaces and places to meet people because dating apps suck. New spaces and places to meet people. The thing is, people are everywhere. People are everywhere. People are everywhere. We're meeting people all the time. I'm gonna break this mic before tonight is over with. We're meeting people all the time. Here's the thing. What makes dating difficult is, one, we limit our options. One, we limit our options. How do we limit our options? Well, one, you limit your options by having a type. Okay. Now we all have the type of person that we're attracted to. We all have the type of person that gets us going, that gets us in our emotions. We all have our type, right? But your type is not always what you need. Many times it's what you want. So, what I would encourage you to do, the first thing is to analyze for the type of man that I am attracted to, that I am attracted to, that I am attracted to. Attraction. Attraction can be changed. Number one, we'll come back to that. But for the type of person that I am attracted to, do does this type have what I need to be sustained in a long-term relationship, or do they just look good and feel good for the current moment? So the first thing you have to do is analyze, is my type getting in my way? So what type of person am I attracted to? And then ask yourself, does that type support what the long-term vision is? What the long-term vision is. Someone asked me the other day, they were like, "Oh, well, if you're dating someone, does he have to be, over 6 foot?" And I was like, "No, not necessarily." I was like, "It's nice if he's over 6 feet, but that's definitely not a need that I have. I would rather have someone who respects me. I would rather have someone who speaks my love language. I would rather have someone who looks after me. I would rather have someone who seeks to take care of me. I would rather have that than have someone who's over 6 foot. So if I get that package and he's 5'9", me and my 5'9" man will be walking down the street hand in hand. Okay. We're gonna be posted up on Instagram because I would rather have someone who cares for me than who looks good next to me. Your attraction will change when you fall in love with you enough. And y'all think it's about other people. When I think about the people that I allow into my life, especially in my intimate space, when I allow someone into my life in that way, it's as if I'm giving myself a gift. And I'm saying, "Hey, Brittany, you get to indulge in this person. Hey, Brittany, you get to have this person. Hey, Brittany, you get to have access to this person. And this person gets to have access to you." Why? Because they have met the qualifications of whatever it takes to be necessary to be next to you. My brain is putting a whole bunch of words together in a sentence format that I don't like. I'm gonna say that again. I give myself this person as a gift, and this person receives me as a gift because they are basically deemed to be worthy to be in my space. I love myself enough to say, Brittany, I'm going to allow you to get close to the people who have proven that they are worthy to care for you, not just make you feel good, not just make you laugh, not just give you something to do because you're bored or because you're lonely, but I'm giving you the gift of intimacy. I'm giving you the gift of love. I'm giving you the gift of affection, and it's all wrapped up in this person. I love myself enough to not get attached to things that don't matter. So yes, I may want someone who's 6 foot, chocolate, nice smile. Those things all, va va voom, get the emotions going, but it's so short-lived. It burns out like a match. It burns out like a match, right? I think I told this story a long time ago. There was a guy I was talking to, and we're getting to know each other. I'm liking him a lot, and I start noticing a pattern that he would call me when he gets off work, and he's telling me how his day went. Like most people do. You exchange how your day went, but the exchange, the more and more we went on, it became more one-sided, to where he was calling me to tell me about his day, and he's venting, and they did this at work and this happened and you won't believe this, and I'm like, "Oh, okay," and I'm listening and I'm supporting and I'm validating, I'm offering suggestions, and then I'll be like, "Okay, well, let me tell you what happened in my day." And he's like, "Oh, hold on, I got to go take this call, or I got to go do this, or I'm shopping, I'm going to call you back." And when it was time for me to be able to reciprocate or draw from the well in which I just invested in, there was never anything for me to draw. And being who I am, I sat down, I said, "Hey, look, I like you. I enjoy you. I want to see where this can go. But I'm noticing that when I need you, you're not available. but I make sure that I am available for your needs. And I just want to know, is this something one that you have picked up on or doing intentionally? And two, do you think that you can reciprocate what it is that I'm giving? Do you want to reciprocate what it is that I'm giving? Long story short, now that I think about it, I think long story short, he was like, other women have told me this, but I don't believe it. I was just like, what? Okay. Nice knowing you. Enjoy your life, right? But that's an example of me realizing, because that person met everything on the list. He was literally everything on the list. But you got to throw your list out if it doesn't take care of your heart. You got to throw that list away if it doesn't take care of what you need. What's more important is how is this person going to sustain me over time? And if you can't do that, then we don't really have anything. All right. So people are everywhere. Analyze your type. Make sure your type is what you need and not what you want. And then be open to love in the form in which it comes. Be open to love in the form in which it comes. That means whether he's black, white, Hispanic, purple, green, orange. I think sometimes we box ourselves in. Not think, I know statistically. One of the reasons why black women are one of the, which I don't even know if you're black, but one of the reasons why black women are marrying at lower rates than any other race is one, because we are dead set on being loyal and marrying black men. And while it may be our preference to marry black men, statistically, and I know there's a lot of people who will fight me on that, but statistically, the if you are loyal to marrying a black man, you will marry either at a later age or not at all. Fight me on it, but the studies have been done and it is true. I have made a commitment to love who loves me. And I'm so serious on that. I have made a commitment to love who loves me. And I say that because and it's not even a it's not even a shocker when you think about it. Historically, even in your own life, you can see that there were times where you loved someone else more than they loved you. You cared for someone else more than they cared for you. That is it just happens in life. It's going to happen. When I commit to loving who loves me, I open myself up to love in whatever form it shows up. I open myself up to getting and receiving the thing that I'm putting out in the world without putting restrictions and parameters on it. Okay. And that's a very grown up conversation that we have to have when we and as a woman, believe me, younger Brittany was definitely in, love feels and looks like a fairy tale. Well, been around the block a few times. I've seen enough at this point to where I know that how I may prefer something to happen may not always be what actually happens. So instead of getting blocking myself in and being my own barrier, I will open myself up to say whoever loves me, black, white, Hispanic, Samoan, okay? Some Samoan. Whatever they look like, whatever form they come in, if they have what I need, I'm more committed to that than the preference that I have of what they look like or where they come from. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? um okay, let me I can't let me see. Okay, here we go. How do I build emotional intelligence? Um okay, okay, let me come back to this question. Um How to make healthy boundaries with my mom. She wants me to take care of her so she can live. she isn't old or sick. I think number one, you first have to ask yourself, why does your mom feel comfortable making that request? Right? There has to be a history, right, of um imbalanced boundaries from the get-go as to why she would be like, "Hey, look, take care of me," right? Um so I want you to first analyze, what is the history of this relationship been like? Has it always been um reverse parentification, right? So the child is taking care of the adult, right? That happens in a lot of different ways. Where it happens a lot with parents who either have mental illnesses, or they are handicapped in some way, or substance abuse plays a factor. So typically in those households, you will see that the kids grow up very quickly, and they learn how to take care of their siblings, their mom, and they're working at an early age. They're getting people off to school. So they're growing up very quickly. If those, when the child grows into adulthood, if those boundaries aren't um, severed and then reestablished in a healthy way, then the parent will continue to have an expectation of, well, why aren't you taking care of me now? You've always done it. Why can't I come live with you? Why can't I move in with you? Why can't I drive your car? Why can't I borrow money from you? You've always been taking care of me, right? So for you, you got to go back to the beginning, because for children who grew up very quickly and very early, and who were taking care of parents and family members, there is a large amount of guilt that comes with setting those healthy boundaries. So you're going to have to get clear within yourself, why am I this way? Why have I allowed this to happen even in my adult life? What are the emotions that are keeping me connected and bonded into this unhealthy cycle? That all of those thoughts and beliefs that you have about the relationship have to be addressed first, because setting the boundary will mean nothing if you can't mentally and emotionally stand on it, right? There are a lot of people who set healthy boundaries because they know it's what they should do, but the minute that the family member challenges them, they cave because they feel guilty, and I don't want to hurt their feelings, and I don't want them to walk away, and I don't want to be abandoned. So if you haven't dealt with your own emotions related to what this relationship is, setting the boundary won't necessarily help, because at some point you're going to give in, right? So focus on understanding for yourself, what are the dynamics in this relationship? Um, is there anything that I need to forgive myself for, or forgive my mother for? Is there anything I need to hold her accountable for? Because this is just, unhealthy boundaries is nothing more than a symptom. It's a symptom to a larger problem. Okay. Understand the problem so that when you actually start putting um, remedies in place, they actually stick, and it's not just a short term solution. Okay. You guys do me a favor, and I want you uh, to put something in the chat, an emoji. Let's all do heart emojis, smiling emojis, something. I'm trying to see something. There's a delay or not. Okay, cool. Trying to see how far this delay is on my thing. Okay, great. All right. Next question. How do I build emotional intelligence? You become more emotionally intelligent really the more in tune you are with yourself. One of the reasons why people struggle to be emotionally intelligent um, is because they don't know themselves well enough. Emotional intelligence is nothing more than being able to identify, connect, and empathize with the emotions of other people. But the only way that I can do that with other people is to first do it with myself, right? It's hard for me to understand your emotions when I don't understand my own. It's hard for me to connect with your emotions, and I don't connect with my own. You will become more emotionally intelligent the more that you seek to understand your own emotional makeup, right? And emotional intelligence is not being emotional. Okay. Emotional intelligence is not being emotional. I used to have a client, he was a male client, and I was working with him and his wife. And, the wife was just like, he's just emotionally shut off. He doesn't, know how to be emotional, and he's this and he's that. And as they're just, describing the dynamics of their relationship, she got very upset with me because I told her that he's actually more emotionally intelligent than you are. Because her emotional reactions were always very big and very elaborate, and all of her emotions were either crying or yelling and just a big expression. So she thought that because she was expressing big emotions, that it meant that she was communicating. She thought that because she was crying, that it meant that she was emotionally in tuned. And I told her, showing your emotions does not mean that you are emotionally intelligent. Crying does not make you more emotionally intelligent than your partner, right? In fact, emotional intelligence means sometimes I know that I cannot cry in this situation, or I need to hold my tears back in this situation so that I give my partner space and time to express how they feel without my emotions taking over the conversation. Being emotionally intelligent means that I can understand, empathize, and connect with someone else. And it doesn't have to be your partner, it could be a coworker, right? In a way that honors how that person feels and also honors myself as well. So what I would tell you is to become as in tune as you can with your own emotions. And then practice really communicating your emotions without the emotional expression. Now, for women, I would give women that homework assignment, especially women who are very expressive in their emotions. Men, I would give them a different assignment. But for women, I used to tell them, I want you to practice communicating how you feel without showing how you feel. And they're like, Brittany, how am I supposed to do that? That doesn't make sense. I want you to focus on the words, putting into words what you're feeling without showing what you're feeling. Because one of the things that handicaps women is we think waterworks shows and communicates how we feel. We think yelling shows and communicates how we feel, right? When really, in real communication, especially with your partner, those things actually distract your partner from hearing what your actual emotions are and what you need. Because if I'm giving you a high pitched voice, if I'm giving you tears, if I'm giving you a lot at one time, he now has to decipher through all of this extra information to hear my message. So many times, the reason why your partners aren't hearing you when you're communicating is because there's too much emotion in your communication for him to decipher what you meant. So many times I tell people, there's certain um certain people when I'm dating. If we're ever in a difficult conversation, one of the most frustrating things that I do, and they appreciate it later, but I start speaking so slow. I start talking. If you ever get me heated, I start talking so slow. And I'll be like, so what I'm hearing you say is this, and this. Is that correct? Or I'll be like, what I'm trying to say, there are times when you say, and they're like, just say what you have to say. And I'm like, listen to me. The reason why the reason why I slow down in my communication is because I'm having to decipher through my emotions to choose the right language that will communicate what I'm actually feeling. Okay. So on the back end, they appreciate it because they're like, okay, she's not losing her mind. She's not cussing me out. She's not going crazy. I'm just going to talk very slow. Because even, being a woman, being very a person who's very emotional, I have to weave through my emotions like, can't, no, we're not going to speak from there. Okay. Come this way, say this word, use this one, because I understand that if I am overly expressive in my emotions, that my message will get lost. And I would rather you hear my message than feel my emotions, so to speak. Does that make sense? All right, let's see. What happens when the male partner is the one who shows his emotions rather than communicates them? Same thing. He has to learn how to communicate what he has to learn the language. One of the things that I work with men is teaching them actual emotional vocabulary. Um, and again, I hate to make it a sex thing because as many men as I teach how to use emotional vocabulary, I have to teach women how to use emotional vocabulary as well. It's not a male thing or a female thing, it's a human thing. No one, I can't, I can tell you, nobody set me down and said, "Hey, Brittany, this is how you communicate emotions." I didn't get that until I was in college, right? And that's because I purposely was a psych major. So, it's not it's a learned skill. So what I will say is he has to learn the vocabulary to express how he feels. Um, and one of the things that we can do as women. Now, again, this will only work for someone who understands connection. This will only work for someone who wants to do things differently in the relationship. But if you have a partner who expresses their emotions in very big ways and gives you a lot of emotion without very little words to understand what they're trying to say, one of the things that we can do is give them reassurance that whatever they have to say is being heard, it's being respected, it's being valued, right? So you can do that in certain ways by, saying, "Hey, tell me what you're thinking. I want to hear what you have to say. What you have to say is important to me. You can trust me with it." Anytime they disclose information, always thank them for whatever it is that they give you. Give them that reassurance that this is a safe place, right? I think one of the reasons why we get that big expression is because when men feel challenged, and emotional conversations many times can feel like a challenge to them because it's not something that they do well. So because I don't do it well, anytime I have to have a hard conversation or anytime we have to have these tough talks, I immediately get on guard. And anytime we're on guard, we have armor on, and armor means I'm walking into a fight. So, as a woman, okay, your job is to disarm. Disarm. You don't engage, you disarm. How do I disarm? I disarm by not giving into aggression. I disarm by not becoming loud or becoming defensive or becoming um, passive aggressive. You disarm by giving reassurance and being loving and being open, still setting clear boundaries, but letting them know, "Hey, I want to have this conversation with you because I love you. I care about you. I want us to fix this. However, it just can't happen with you yelling at me, or it can't happen if you're going to keep cursing. So, in order for us to fix this, we're going to sit down, we're going to talk about it. I want to hear what you have to say, but we're going to respect each other because that's how much we love each other." Right. So, it's giving him that reassurance that, yes, we're in a disagreement. Yes, this is hard. I get that it's hard. I get that it's difficult. Neither one of us want to be here, but we're here. So, we're going to talk it out. Right. And most importantly, I'm not abandoning you. I'm not abandoning you. Okay, how are we feeling? How are we feeling? How does it feel? Okay, how are we feeling? Questions before we move on. Um, I feel like while I know that we joined um late with a delay today, I feel like we've been on for forever because that's how long it took me to get set up today. Do y'all like the new setup? Let me know if the let me know if this version of the Tuesday Night Live works for you guys. Do y'all like the new setup? It will be more I got to go get this cord tomorrow. I'm gonna remember. I'm gonna put it on my to-do list. Hold on. I focused on reparenting my wounded inner child. My question is, any recommendations, strategies, or practices for building or maintaining a healthy relationship with the inner child? Um, So building a relationship is the same as you would do with anybody else, right? So think about what you do when you're trying to get to know somebody new, or you're trying to maintain a friendship, or you're trying to maintain a romantic relationship. You spend time with that person. I am so big on spending time with you. Take that inner child out for a daycation. Take that inner child out, sit down and talk to the child and say, "Hey, have you been lately? You spazzed out on so and so. Let's check in and see what's been going on with you." Spending I always tell people it's hard for you to get to know you in the presence of other people, right? This is why sometimes being in a relationship or being married gets in the way of self-discovery, because I'm so with somebody else all the time. But you have to disconnect yourself from everybody else, from work, family, spouses, jobs, careers, businesses, and spend time with that child and say, "Hey, inner child," right? I call mine baby Brittany, right? What do you need? I haven't spent time with you. Do you need to laugh? Do you need joy? Do you need comfort? Do you need a hug? Do you need reassurance? Your inner child shows up all the time. I think sometimes we don't always acknowledge that they're present. I identify my inner child, and if you guys are in the daily fix, I promise you, we're going to go through my philosophy. My mate for this group already knows how I feel about the relationship with yourself and the inner child, but we're going to go through my whole framework of how to understand yourself better. But your inner child is present all the time. We don't always acknowledge them. Think about all the times that you tell yourself that you're emotional. Think about all the times you tell yourself you're hormonal. Think about all the times you tell yourself, I'm just in my feelings. The inner child represents the emotions part of you. The inner child represents the part of you that is oftentimes afraid, that is oftentimes insecure, that feels threatened. The inner child is the part of you that is undisciplined. The inner child is the part of you that rebels against any type of structure. Okay. The inner child is very much like a child. It is the part of us that is not um, mature, right? So when you find yourself in those places where you're making bad decisions, sit down with me. I guarantee you we can trace it back to your inner child. When you find yourself in those places where you've just been in emotional funk for a while, sit down and have a conversation with your inner child. I guarantee you there's something that they're lacking. There's something that they're missing. And your inner child is very much like a toddler. When a toddler wants a sucker, it's going to raise hell until it gets a sucker, right? So many times when you see those emotional upheavals, the remedy is not, okay, let me go to the gym. Let me go to work. Let me watch this movie. Don't distract yourself so much that you miss the fact that your inner child is trying to communicate to you, I'm not okay. And sometimes not being okay is simply, I just need your attention. When was the last time we went out somewhere? When was the last time that you spent time with me? When was the last time that we just played? Like as adults, it blows my mind that we stop playing. Like when was the last time that you just did something that didn't mean anything to anybody? I am the most annoying person on game night. New Year's, I was sitting at a table and everybody was playing dominoes. Now, dominoes and black culture, it just whatever. But I'm the person who's going to sit down at the table and I'm going to annoy everybody at the table because I'm not the best dominoes player, but I bluff like I am. And so I'm just wreaking havoc on the table and everybody is mad. And at the end of the game, somebody was like, "Do you even know how to play?" I was like, "No, I don't." They just bust out laughing because they're like, "This whole time we thought." I get a kick out of stuff like that. I really do. I'm a troll. I know. But it's just that's my way of just having fun, not being serious all the time, not joking, being able to just joke and be lighthearted. That's how I allow my inner child to show up in ways that serves her and is beneficial without hurting myself or someone else, right? So think about, in what ways do I want to spend time with my inner child? What questions do I want to ask them? I have to check in with my inner child to say, "Hey, how you doing? I know I've been working a lot. I've been trying to build this business. I've been in this relationship, but are you okay? Do you need anything from me?" Right? Okay. Oh, thank you, Miss Tulu. Will we have the opportunity to listen to this again? I have written so much what you say. Sure. So the Tuesday night lives are, this is why we came to YouTube. See, this is the benefit of YouTube. It'll be up on YouTube. You can watch it as much as you like. You can share it with people who you think will need it. So yeah. Okay. Um, Miss Shirley, this is my first time being here and I'm blown away with the compassion you have for helping others. I'm pretty sure I have a question, but your response and comments from the beginning about everything resonates with me. Good. I'm glad, Miss Shirley. Welcome. I see your comments on the I Am Worthy videos. So welcome to the live sessions, ma'am. We're glad to have you. Um, what books? I cannot think of a book right off. Um, However, Amazon has everything. So if you Google on Amazon, but I can't think of one right off. I see the cover in my head, but I can't think of the name of it. Um, okay. So in the morning, we have the Daily Fix, you guys. If you haven't joined the Daily Fix, you can go to thedailyfix.co and you will learn all about the daily program that allows you to log on with me every morning. Me and Breon are live every morning for about an hour, and all we do is talk about different things. So this month, we're talking about building your 2023 vision. This morning, we talked about releasing baggage from 2022 and how to go about doing that. So if you're not on the Daily Fix, you're missing a lot, y'all. We have a call tomorrow with our guest speaker, Sean Breed. I absolutely love this man. Okay. But he's going to talk about restoring hope. In 2022, a lot of hope was attacked, a lot of hope died. We got to put our hope back on a resuscitation. What's a little breathing machine that they have in hospitals? Okay. There are certain hopes that are hanging on by a thread. And he's going to come in and talk about unbelief and addressing the fear that comes with stepping back out. I literally told someone, I was like, it's like 2022 for a lot of people. It's like it left you with PTSD. Like you want to be excited about 2023, but when you look back on everything that happened last year, you're like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. And so it's hard to be optimistic because you've experienced so much disappointment in the last year. So tomorrow he's coming on to talk about addressing that disbelief that has been damaged in the last year. So yeah, I'm excited. If you haven't joined the program, join the program so that you can meet with me every day. You'll be a part of an amazing community that lifts each other up. We're all supportive of each other, and we're going to hold you accountable to accomplishing the goals that you have for your life in 2023. So the dailyfix.co.co is where you can go. Guys. Oh, thank you, ma'am. I'm glad. Where's everybody at? Can y'all put in the chat where y'all are from so I can see that really quickly? Because I thought I saw somebody say they was from somewhere. Let me see. But yeah, put in the chat where you guys tuning in from. Connecticut, Texas. Is it Houston? Is it Houston? I'm a born and raised Texas girl, so I am. Um, okay, Maryland, North Carolina, South Georgia, DC, Fort Worth. Ah, you almost made it. You almost made it. Okay. So I haven't even put this online yet. I'm gonna give it to y'all. I'm gonna give it to y'all first. March 11th. That's the date, right? Let me see. January. Yes. March 11th. March 11th is going to be my first conference slash workshop of the year. I haven't even put it online yet because all I've specified is the date. I met with the planner today about planning everything out. And I'm excited. I haven't spoken live, like really spoken live. Um maybe before the pandemic. No, you know what? I don't know. It was sometime I did a panel, but I haven't done like my own workshop, definitely before the pandemic. So this would be my first time like really speaking live. And it's gonna be off the chain. It's gonna be amazing. So March 11th, you guys who want to come to Texas, Houston, Texas, um, and see me live, put that date on your calendar. I think that what's going to happen is we're going to do a VIP dinner Friday night, and then Saturday will be the conference. So the VIP dinner will be with me, and then Saturday we'll do like the main event. Whew, I just got so excited just even saying that. Okay, all right. Any other questions before I go, you guys? Any other questions? I think after this whole setup, I need a nap. What's the topic of the conference? I haven't made it yet. Miss Candy. Listen, Miss Candy, okay? Listen. First of all, I thought you knew. Yes, I will be giving you guys more information. Are you on? You should be on my email list. Majority of you guys are on my email list. If you're not on my email list, then just shoot me an email, info@brittanynoel.com, and I will make sure that you get added to the email list. Will there be virtual access? I'm sure that'll be a Breon question. Breon will have to make sure that there's virtual access because as y'all can see, I can barely set up. I can barely set up my home thing. Okay. Oh, you didn't know? Okay, so yeah, so the VIP dinner, I just added that. See, that's new. That's new. I just added that. Um, yeah, I just added the VIP dinner. So Miss Candy, you have to be VIP. Um, Long Island. Okay. But yes, Miss Shirley, I will talk to Breon about virtual access. That's not my ministry. As y'all can see, this live setup nearly took me out tonight. So he's gonna have to plan for that. All right, you guys. I have enjoyed speaking with you. I'm gonna let you guys go. The replay will be on YouTube. That's the benefit of using YouTube. So awesome. I will talk to you guys next Tuesday. Some of you I'm gonna see tomorrow in the Daily Fix. Until next week, see you later.